The desperate businessman's turnaround. Meeting Jesus. My child, I see your struggles, your despair, and the burdens that weigh heavily on your heart. Like Benjamin, the businessman from the city of Jerusalem, you too may have once been prosperous, surrounded by success and wealth. But in an instant, the tides of life can change. The business falters, relationships strain, and the things you relied on seem to crumble beneath your feet. You feel lost, surrounded by the weight of failure and the loneliness of isolation. Benjamin's story is one many of you can relate to. Once a man of wealth, influence, and success, he found himself in the ruins of his life, a prisoner to debt and despair. The trade routes he had once traveled, filled with riches, were now closed. His mansion, once full of laughter and servants, stood empty and silent. His family was left to endure hardships, and each day seemed to bring only more bad news. But there is something you must understand, dear child. No matter how dark the situation, I am always present with you. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. When you feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, I am right beside you. You do not walk alone. Just as Benjamin wandered the streets in despair, perhaps you too have felt like wandering, searching for something to give you peace. But listen to this. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Benjamin, desperate and broken, heard of a man named Jesus who healed the sick, restored the broken, and brought hope to the hopeless. At first, he hesitated. His life seemed consumed by the pressing realities of his business and the debts that suffocated him. He could not fathom how anything spiritual could help him with his very real, very material troubles. But as he heard the stories of Jesus' miracles, something within him stirred a small flicker of hope. So he pushed forward, unsure yet eager for a solution. Benjamin's encounter with Jesus was simple yet powerful. He stood before the Savior, pouring out his heart, his desperation, his cries for help. And Jesus, with all the compassion of heaven, looked at him and spoke, "Child, do not despair. Your faith will open a new door for you." Mark 9:23. Jesus infused Benjamin with peace, and for the first time in a long while, Benjamin felt the weight in his heart begin to lift. "My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives." John 14:22. Benjamin left that encounter with new eyes. Though the path was still difficult, he saw an opportunity in the midst of his hardships, a chance to rebuild, not just his wealth, but his purpose. He didn't just return to the life he had before. Instead, he began to look beyond his own struggles. He saw the possibility of providing for the rebuilding of his war-torn city, using his experience and connections in a new, meaningful way. You too can experience this turnaround. I know you are weary. I know you are struggling, but I also know that within you is the power to overcome. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Philippians 4:13. When you seek me, I will show you a new way forward. And as Benjamin's business grew once more, it wasn't just about wealth for him anymore. He became a man of purpose, using his resources to help others, to share the love and hope that Jesus had shown him. It is more blessed to give than to receive. Acts 20:35. He learned that true prosperity is not measured by how much you have, but by how much you give to those in need, by how you share the love I have poured into your life. When you feel isolated, when loneliness overwhelms you, come to me. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. I will not abandon you. My plans for you are for good, not harm. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Just as I gave Benjamin a new vision for his life, I will give you the strength to rise up and face your circumstances. Trust in my promises, for I am your refuge and strength, your ever-present help in times of trouble. Now stand firm, for I am with you. Your turnaround begins with faith in my love, in my promises, and in my power to renew your life.